Hey folks, welcome back to DCS. Today we're flying the flanker because it's been quite a while and we're on the Contention 87.
Clear to taxi to runway 17.
We're back on the Syria map as you can see, and we're actually in a bit of a scramble situation at the moment. Things are not looking super great.
You are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 757.62.
So we are gear up, flaps up, and at the minute if you look at the data link there are a lot of guys, like at least 4, pushing up to maybe 7, heading in all within about 50 kilometers. So we are turning cold and running for a little bit just to get the airbase's SAM assets between us and the enemy aircraft. There are now a couple within 20 kilometers and we must have pushed at least 10 away from the airbase, so this guy's very, very close, and I'm kind of hoping that the airbase will engage him, so we're going to continue pushing to create some separation. We're going to try and use the terrain to block line of sight, so intentionally flying very, very low. I just want to give myself some time to set my trim, figure out my radar settings, and get a bit of a lay of the land, but we've got enough separation now, so we will turn back in. Okay, so at least one of them is hot on data link. I'm trying to retain this broken line of sight using the ridges until I get close enough to pop up and engage. Hopefully his EWR coverage won't be good enough that he knows exactly where I am. Although, looking at the data link track, it does seem that he's updating his heading to match me no matter what I do. We might just be forced to commit and pray that things work out. So we found him on radar. He is at 25 kilometers. Hot. Quite a lot higher than us. I'm going to use a 27T for this engagement. He has just started flanking off to the side. Friendly just appeared on data link, so he's probably being tailed by another teammate. This is very good for us. We have pushed within 15 kilometers, which is dangerous for him, but we can't hope to engage at this range in a tail chase. I'm going to turn my radar off and switch to the electro-optical system, and this will stop him from getting any kind of radar warning, and it might entice him into pulling in if he thinks it's just a one-on-one instead of a two-on-one. The hope is that he'll think I've given up the chase. Obviously that's not the case. He's pulled within no escape, he's turned hot. We're firing off for 27T, he's engaging me, so we're going to dive for the deck. His Sparrow lofted. He is flaring, but the 27T got him just in the nick of time before his Sparrow connected with me. That was pretty lucky. Pulling back away for some separation and to regain some situational awareness. So we've got a friendly engaging a hostile to our left somewhere. We've got a friendly on data link to our right, so it's 3v1. I'm going to slowly turn back in and see if we can figure out what's going on. Maybe we'll be able to find this guy on radar, maybe the friendly will sort of chase him in our direction. So, turning back in, looking at the data link screen, the friendly is basically occupied chasing down another hostile, but there's a second hostile pushing in to engage the friendly and clear their mate's 6, so it's like a 2v2. I'm going to hope that the friendly can deal with the guy that he's chasing after, and I'm going to try and kill the guy that's chasing after our friendly. But looking ahead, you can see that the hostile's actually launched, and I'm not in a position to really successfully engage. But the hostile might not know that, so I'm going to use the launch override to fire out of range and hope that this guy doesn't know where I am. The launch warning might make him turn cold, which could potentially save our teammate. Briefly checking the data link there, the friendly did kill the hostile he was chasing, and the hostile that I've engaged has turned cold. I can't quite tell whether our friendly survived or not though. He seems to have disappeared off data link. But I'm guessing that we probably did break the lock. Unfortunately, there's about 1 million of them ahead of me, so I'm not going to chase this guy down. We're going to just get the hell out of there. And again, reset for separation. The friendly did in fact survive. He's in front of us somewhere on data link. Briefly had him on EO there, which reminded me to turn the radar on for IFF. Turning hot with just EO probably would not have gone very well for me. Friendly's turned back hot, so we're going to follow suit. Although we're not on comms, it's good to have a wingman. And the flanker's data link is insanely powerful for like non-voice communication teamwork, because you can see exactly where all your teammates are. So there are at least 3 hostiles pushing in. One might be dead looking at the shortness of his track. The length of the line pointing forwards denotes their speed, and the horizontal line denotes their altitude, so they all look more or less co-out with me. They keep coming and going off the data link though, which is concerning me, and I can't tell if they're dead or not. There is a splash up ahead, but I have no idea whether it's friendly or not. Lowering the nose, multiple hostiles still pick back up on the data link. There is a friendly there as well. They all look very close together, and I'm struggling to find any of them on radar. And I'm about to push into my radar missile engagement range, and I can't find them on radar, so I'm just bugging back out again. So right here, as we pull back, I'm trying to head towards Basel, which is one of our air bases. It looks like there's an absolute massacre going on back there. I can see a missile trail, someone's downed. It looks like there's about 4 other people that are being killed. They're just craters in the ground. Data link is still showing hostiles to my 6, and the EWR reports are saying that there's one within 20 kilometers, several not too far behind. So we're pushing towards Basel, we're climbing above this more varied terrain so we can dive into it for cover. There are 2, I think, friendlies, or there were on data link just there briefly, and we have a hostile on radar that's actually pretty damn close, pushing to within 15 kilometers in a flanking position, so I'm going to switch to electro-optical in the hope that they don't see me coming. I must be on this guy's data link because he turns hot, so we're going to fire another 27T and we're going to dive for cover. He has returned fire. We can just turn cold because obviously our missile doesn't require a lock to keep tracking. Our missile connected. It seems that the 27Ts are actually quite flare resistant. I don't know what I would have done, honestly, if if these guys' flares had worked and those missiles hadn't connected. I would have ended up basically being defensive, being chased down. It would not have ended well. But thankfully, the 27T has my back. I actually kind of wish that it could carry more than just 2 of them. If you could carry like a 6 rack of 27Ts and not bother with any 27Rs at all, then I probably legitimately would just do them. So on data link at the moment, there is something very high up that looks actually relatively quick. It looks like it's doing at least the same speed that we are, and my concern is that it's actually a Hornet, because on the EWR reports, which keep occasionally popping up, it does say that there is a Hornet at something ridiculous, like 13,000 meters. Look, so I'm assuming that data link contact is that Hornet. So I'm running cold and I'm climbing because I want to get my speed up and my altitude up, and then I'm going to try and zoom climb like into the belly of this guy by doing kind of a split S once I've got some separation. My hope is that making a rapid altitude change will prevent him from being able to track me effectively, because the EWR reports in his data link might not update that quickly. As I turn around though, it becomes apparent that there are about 1 billion people on data link. This is probably a very stupid idea. I have got my radar angled way up right now, and I'm not seeing this guide using the information that the EWR set me. So the thing I'm thinking is the Hornet probably actually isn't the Hornet, which is just more cause for concern, because now I don't have a clue what it is. I can see something in the comms, so I'm going to set the radar for that. Radar says it is hostile, but it's running cold. This probably is the guy. That is the Hornet. So that other thing that's basically right on top of me on the data link isn't the Hornet, but whatever it is, isn't on the EWR reports for some reason. So at this stage I'm starting to wonder whether it might be some kind of glide bomb or a missile. But because this is an 80 server, weapons like that are usually restricted. So I'm just going to assume it's an aircraft for now, because nothing would be more annoying than assuming that it's not and then being killed by it. That very annoying RWR tag, by the way, is our friendly SAM assets from Basel that must have got something locked, probably that high up thing, and we're basically flying through the beam, so our RWR is pinging even though we're not the target. You can see that it's actually engaging something right there, so we were just getting a residual from the radar. It looks like those missiles detonated, but it doesn't look like they detonated on the target, which is odd. It makes me wonder whether the thing that they were shot at has a really low radar signature. I'm not really sure how the flanker's data link works or how it picks up targets. I assumed it could only show what the EWR reports could see, but clearly the EWR reports can't see whatever that thing is, because otherwise they'd be shown on the reports and they're not. So I am just thinking it's something like a cruise missile, but I don't know enough about the cruise missiles to be more specific than that. We've got some decent separation now, we're going to turn back around. So looking at the data link, there is still 4 contacts plus that high up thing that I can't identify. 5 contacts in fact. In fact, one of them's a friendly. We do have one of them on radar. Something's in the cons. Friendly seems to be getting chased down by a large amount of contacts, which is a concern. I'm trying to find that thing on vertical scan just since we're in CQB ACM range, but I'm not getting anything with radar or EO. And then we've got this thing coming in the cons. I'm not sure if that's the friendly being chased or one of the hostiles. But we are rushing headlong into a situation that we probably shouldn't be right now. Whatever that is seems to be dropping countermeasures. Friendly is passing us right now. So that high up thing in the cons is hostile. All the other hostiles are very low to the ground, so I feel able... I just accidentally locked one of the low down things. I feel able to engage this high guy. And the RWR isn't saying that I'm locked by anyone, so I feel actually relatively secure right now. Did not realise how close this guy is. We're going to engage with an R-73. But he is shitting out flares like they're going out of fashion, so I'm going to fire another one. And I'm not really confident that that's going to hit either, so we're going to switch to an R-27R. Looks like the 73 got him. So a bit of a waste of missiles there, but kind of felt the need to spam them. So at this stage, we are down to a pair of 73s and a pair of 27Rs. We're right over Basel, and there's 1 billion contacts on data link still. So I'm just going to get out of here. I don't fancy my chances with so few missiles, considering I just had to waste 3 on one guy. I cannot afford to do that again, and there's definitely more than one guy. So we head back to base, and I decided to go further north to HOTAS rather than staying around Basel, just on the off chance that I get attacked whilst I'm landing, given how many of them there are. And I am going to cut the footage out, but on the way back I do actually manage to find this thing that we couldn't ID, and it's some kind of glide bomb, like a cluster munition. It must be launched by a Hornet. I'm unreasonably upset about how only one tyre seems to have thrown any smoke off it. Why do you do this to me, DCS? It felt perfectly level to me at the time as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, folks. 3 kills and 1 sortie with the flanker. Definitely done better in the past, but sometimes it's about knowing when to call it day and quit while you're ahead. This was my only sortie for this session, so I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more like this, then be sure to hit that sub button, leave a comment for the algorithm, like it if you liked it, share it around, I would appreciate that. Consider checking out the links in the video description for my channel sponsors, Pimax Viewer and Air Models. And if you like what you see and you want to help support the channel financially, why not check out the membership link in the description below as well. The highest level membership will get you early access to video uploads, so if that sounds like your cup of tea, then check it out. Beyond that, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.